Hey, what's up? This is your favorite top 10 favorite YouTube gig app driver slash midlife changer upper of habits and whatever. Alex coming at you with some thoughts today about smoking cigarettes and how to stop once and for all. Recap: I'm a 30-year smoker who has now been off the tobacco for almost a year and a half. It'll be 16 months, and we're heading into the season of New Year's resolutions and end of the year, beginning of the year. Time for regeneration, time for change for a lot of us, and it's a big cliche almost to decide to make changes on January 1st. I mean, why wait till January 1st? Why not December 29th, December 28th? Why not maybe avoid that the pressure of the cliche they call January 14th the quit day, as in people quit their New Year's resolutions exactly 2 weeks into a new year. So maybe that's a first thought. Also, I just want to think about. I used to say to myself, like, man, if I could just have rehab, if I could just go to rehab, then I could quit smoking, because it's not the stopping smoking that I can't do. It's that I can't stop smoking cigarettes and deal with real life, deal with the rest of civilization and society and my family, my job, and my friends, and like responsibilities, and all the troubles that go on in the world, and the news, and it's too much. So I'm gonna take a break and have a cigarette, right? So I used to say to myself, like, man, I'd love to go to rehab, and just like, not to minimize what rehab can do for like people who can't stop drinking alcohol or stop doing cocaine or heroin or opiates. Like, God bless folks who are in the recovery community and who are doing the work of helping others. Like, but I mean, cigarettes aren't viewed on that kind of level because it's a slow killer. You can spend 50 years smoking cigarettes, before it seriously endangers you, even though, like, little by little, it's going to eventually catch up and kill you and give you something that, high blood pressure and cancer and like all the rest, emphysema. But we don't put the same sort of like, mentality, on that. We don't put the same sort of like emergency situation on that. I don't think I can go to the hospital and be like, I need treatment immediately for this addiction, and then pull out a pack of Marlboros and show them, like, I don't think you're going to be treated seriously. But like, and I'm not saying they should, obviously, there's a truism to that, but at the same time, like, how do we, and as far as I know, there maybe if I spend $10,000, I can put myself in a private rehab situation where I'm just trying to quit smoking cigarettes and hope that I won't get clowned by the other folks who are there for more quote unquote serious things. Even though, I mean, cigarettes are a serious thing. It's just it takes so long and it's so slow, that but do the math. You spend $10 to $15 a day for the rest of your life, and it's going to get more and more and more, like, increase, like, it's costing you $2,000-$3,000 a year to smoke cigarettes and slowly kill yourself. Times that by 50 more years. Wouldn't you rather invest that money into a quick solution rehab and like really nip that in the bud and help yourself in that way? So I've been thinking about this, and like, well, if we can't go to rehab, if we can't like separate ourselves from the rest of the world to like take the time to like kick, or take the time to quit, take the time to like heal from that, then do we have another option? And I will just say that maybe the option, something I touched on in one of my prior videos, but like that option is to unplug for real, but like in amidst real life, if that makes sense. Like, unplug as in don't deal with a lot of stuff for a time. But I would say that, like, for example, I agreed with myself that I was going to quit smoking. And this time, I'm really going to unplug and not deal with the stuff that I needed to deal with, or I should deal with, or I used to deal with. And that included caring, in a sense. But I gave myself 1 year. So I told myself, like, look, for a year, even though I'd spent a lot of like energy dropping weight and getting on exercise routine, like, if there are days that you don't want to go to the gym, don't do it. If you're gonna want to eat a lot of sweets, go for it. If you want to sleep in, sleep in. I do gig work, so I can work when I want to. If you want to not hit your goal for the day at work, it's okay as long as the lights are on. Whatever, if you don't want to put money in the savings account this week, whatever. If you don't want to go to the party, don't go to that party. If you don't want to like hang out with that friend, don't hang out with that friend. Like, explain, like, yo, I'm having a tough day. Whatever it is, you don't want to see your mom in the nursing home today, don't do it. Like, and that sounds like a rough thing to say, but it is what it is. If that's the situation that you need to get through another day of like whatever it is, sobriety, of like not smoking cigarettes, like, be selfish. Do that. Like, make an agreement with yourself that for a certain amount of time, whether that's 3 months, and I'm not talking like, obviously realistically we can't all quit our jobs. We can't all quit working, or we can't quit looking after a family member, or our regular responsibilities, but we can sort of like look at our lives and see where that stressor is, where that maybe it's like quit social media at the same time, so you're not triggered by like a news story or something horrible going on that like stresses you out. Or because that also was something that I did, was I stopped looking at my Facebook all the time. Just whether that was like friends who are doing awesome and on vacation, or friends who are doing this or that, or friends who are going through this, like, I just don't even want to see it. And that really helped me, in a sense. Like, I became misanthropic. I sort of became like a bit of a shut-in. I didn't go out much for a year. That's the key. Like, I gave myself a certain amount of time, almost like a rehab situation where you're like, you're going to go for 36 weeks or 30 days or whatever it is, but for an appropriate amount of time, because cigarettes are such a slow killer. Like, I gave myself more time. I gave myself a year that, like, as long as I kept the lights on, I kept food on the table, I did, feed my elderly father, because that is one of my responsibilities. But, I didn't spend as much time, like, connecting with my friends, whether they were smokers or non-smokers. I fell really into a lot of YouTube wormholes. Like, I did just enough work. I did just enough working out to like not completely, overturn all the work I'd done. I just did just enough. And for me, I didn't pursue other goals. And I'm very much a type of person who like, if I'm not creating, or if I'm not part of a community, like, I kind of get a little depressed. But in this case, I was like, it's necessary. I don't want to be around folks right now. I'm struggling. And it's okay to struggle, and it's okay to admit you're struggling to yourself, and it's okay to take the time. They say self-care. Well, sometimes self-care is shutting it down, packing it in, hibernating for a while, getting in the cocoon, and like realizing that you have a certain amount of time to do it. And what I noticed was that I didn't take the entire year to go full-blown, live in the woodshed with, looking out the window, not dealing with the world. Like, eventually, after a few months of like really like eating donuts and just watching YouTube and barely working enough to like cover your necessities, was that, I started slowly getting over it little by little as the not smoking became easier. Like, I became like more open to going to the gym more often, or going for walks more often, or, finally returning a phone call and apologizing, be like, sorry, I didn't feel like calling you back last week, and most of your friends, if they're your good friends, are going to totally understand, and they should be rooting for you. And And I eventually like straightened the diet out and got to the point that almost like I did see when I got to my year anniversary, I was pretty much really free of that, and I was even free of the mentality that I put myself in. So really want that to be a thought, because like more than a trick or strategy or a non-smoking aid, like sometimes like it's an overall philosophy of like how we're really going to go about becoming different and really quitting and like taking that time. I thought was really instrumental for me. Wherein before I used to get so any quit attempt, all of a sudden it was like, well, I got to go to this meeting, or I got to go to this social gathering, or I got to go deal with this family, holiday stress situation, and I would just immediately want a cigarette because that was my excuse to like go out and remove myself from a situation, or to like kind of give myself a break, or to I thought that was the thing that helped me deal. So it's my thought today. It's daytime. I'm not working right now because my car is in the shop getting the blinkers looked at, because my blinkers went out. So I got some kind of electrical fuse situation. So my mechanics are looking into it and they will call me back. And yeah, hope you're having a good Monday. Take care.